So if if uh if Florida can understand it and California can understand it, how come the American military cannot understand that the age of consent should be at 18? How come they can't understand this? Everybody else can get this. I mean, California can get this. Florida can get this. How come the military can't get it? Because I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what the truth of the matter is. The truth of the matter is, it's a matter of them treating it like it's a delicacy in your country. That's what it is. They're treating child sex like a delicacy. Explain to me how the military is supposed to be a beacon of truth, a beacon of light, and a beacon of excellence. Tell me why then they have it at 16 years old. Because in American psychology, the psychological part of the American people, as far high as you go up, they start thinking child sex is like some type of delicacy. That's what it is. That's what it is. Explain to me why the military got it going on then. Because these military people are the first ones that pull up to you like Top Gun. Yeah, we bad. Like that we're rad. Okay, you so rad, how come you can't see that the age of consent should be 18 in your military? You so bad, how come you can't see the age? You got all these military talents, but you don't have the talent of discernment when it comes to the proper age to engage human beings, do you? You ain't got the proper age, do you? The proper age is 18, so you cover your bases. You show the standard of integrity. The American military isn't even doing that. Now, like I showed you, there is no hybrid vaginas. So there's either child vagina or adult vagina. Why has the American military decided to put child vagina as the standard of what their servicemen can have? Explain it. Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. So there you have it. You have people sitting up talking about menstruation, which I covered in the first video. But it's individually unpredictable. So we can't have a standard of menstruation when it could be too young in some cases of children. They could be too young, so we can't use menstruation as a compass. It could be an itty bitty girl, man, talking about, well, she got a menstruation. It's time to go. That's what I'm trying to show you. So you can't use that as a compass when it's too unpredictable. And if it affects any child, these laws will affect any child when a child is just being sexually taken advantage of. You shouldn't do it if it even causes one child's vagina to be penetrated when it's a time that it shouldn't be. And that's a standard of law where no one is in harm's way. That's the 7th hour. That's the standard of law where no one is in harm's way. It shouldn't be putting nobody in harm's way, right? That's right. Okay, so we couldn't use menstruation as a compass, as a discerning compass, because someone still would be in harm's way. I told you, man, listen, ain't no way out of this, man. Ain't no way out of this, bro. Ain't no way out of this. I done went through it all. I done been going through all the talks about this, because I'm not saying I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I have honestly and purely and thoroughly went through all scenarios. For people who follow my videos, I have went through all scenarios and still have concluded that you're in trouble with God. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because, see, you put people like R. Kelly in jail. You put R. Kelly in jail, but yet here you are. But yet here you are with child marriage now. Child marriage now. I don't care how you dress it up. I don't care what Jedi mind trick you're doing. How you gonna put R. Kelly in jail, man? And you got child marriage of any sort or kind. I don't care what kind of child marriage it is. I don't care what the regulations are. I don't care. How you gonna put R. Kelly in jail? But here you are as an American community with child marriage, bruh. Make it make sense. You know what I've coined? A term I've coined? This is a law. I've coined the term a law of conflict, which means the integrity of these laws, the lack of integrity of child marriage laws cancels out laws that lock up people like R. Kelly. I told you, you gotta keep up following me. You gotta keep up following me. The lack of integrity of the laws of child marriage cancels out the integrity and justice that the Justice Department tries to execute against the likes of R. Kelly. You can't execute those laws, and then you have laws that contradict the laws that you're trying to execute. You got child marriage laws trying to lock up R. Kelly, in other words. Make it make sense. It does not make sense to me how someone can marry the same age that R. Kelly liked, whatever age a child that was, right? You can look at all the other charges, keep all the other, but the bottom line is you have a problem with the fact of the age of the child that R. Kelly was with. That's what your smoke is. That's what the real smoke of the matter is, right? So how can you have a problem with him or what he doing with these children, but you got child marriage and people wifing up children? At this point, they wifing them up. Make it make sense, bruh. And that's why you don't have a legal system. It's anarchy is on the way. I don't care what you say. Anarchy is on the way because you played too many games, ignorant of your community, ignorant of the laws in your community, and you played games. Yes, you did. Your community played games. Your police played games. Your government played games. And now comes the time to tell you created liabilities. You can't just walk away, in other words. You ain't gonna just walk away. We ain't letting you just walk away. Why should we let you just walk away and you got child marriage? You have child marriage. It's funny to me that you would try to question somebody else's integrity when you have child marriage. I don't care what you say about it. I don't care what you can't play Jedi mind tricks with a man like me. I don't care what you say. You have child marriage. Boom. Bottom line, bro. I ain't trying to hear none of that. I ain't trying to hear none of that. You can't talk to me. You don't have no conversation. You don't have nothing to say to me. You don't have nothing to say to me. You can play all the psychological games. You can think you're winning. How you winning when you got child marriage, bro? Make it make sense. How can you win with child marriage? Go pedophiles. That's what I'm hollering. Hey, that's what you hollering, actually. For the American community that think they can play with me, go pedophiles. And see, listen. Everybody wanna have their own opinion of what a pedophile is. No, I don't have no opinion. You know what I have? Guess what I got? Guess what I got, guys? Guess what I got? I got definitions. I got real definitions of what a pedophile is. You know what a pedophile is? By definition, not by your rinky-dink American opinion, not by your 2-cent opinion. Not by them hunches that you get, them intuitions that you get, but you ain't got no intuition on your country marrying children, do you? Yeah, we done with your whack intuition. You know what we want? Definitions and laws and things you can put down prove on paper. I can prove all this on paper. I can show you real definitions. Yeah, this is what being 100 really feels like. This is what being 100 really feels like. The real definition The real definition of pedophile is an adult first, not a child, an adult. The pedophile is an adult first that has sexual desire for children. And I would add sexual activity, obviously, with children. That's what the real definition is. Not thoughts of children, not these what they trying to get you on, that psychological stuff they trying to get you on. That's a 7 hour. We ain't talking about that, buddy. Yeah, like we don't know, buddy. Yeah, we bigger than the Jedi. We're bigger than the Jedi. We're bigger than all that psychological foolishness you got going. Listen, we ain't talking about that. That don't define no pedophile. Because you playing too many games and psychological games. You got mind technology and witches and warlocks and telepaths playing games. Yeah, we ain't talking about none of that foolishness. That's why it's all canceled out. And anybody jump based on that, they're getting towed out the frame. Especially when you got a liability of 44 states with child marriage. You can't jump in nothing. That's the punchline. You can't jump in nothing. How you gonna jump in something when you got 44 states with child marriage? Yeah, you can have a seat. That's what you can do. You can have a seat. You got 44 states with child marriage, all type of liabilities, sitting up here trying to jump at somebody. But the real definition is an adult that has sexual desire for children and have sexual activity, not thoughts. Desire, and one would say that one acts on. You got to have something on paper. You got to have some real stuff. You can't be walking around talking about people doing stuff that they ain't doing. So it's sexual desire that manifests with children. Basically. Sexual desire that manifests with children. Okay? So what is 44 states with child marriage? It's an adult that has sexual desire that manifests with children. So that ain't a pedophile. By definition, I just proved it, bro. You getting a Jedi mind trick. They Jedi mind tricking you. I just showed you by definition. That's what we go by in the real world. Definitions. I showed you by definition, not my opinion. I showed you by definition. And you still going by some hunches. How far has your hunches really got you? I mean, I'm being 100. I'm tired of people's intuition, kung fu psychology. We're tired of that karate psychology foolishness. You want me to tell you something? You got 44 states with child marriage in the United States of America. Where's all your karate psychology right there? Where's all your kung fu psychology right there? Kung fu fighting. Yeah, you got all that kung fu fighting, but you couldn't figure this out, could you? Come on, man, that's a joke, man. I'm pulling out the facts. The Holy Ghost pulling out the facts. That's why the kingdom of God rules and reigns. That's what we're going to let all of y'all know. The kingdom of God rules and reigns. Whether you like it, you playing kung fu psychological games that amounts to nothing. We're manifesting. We're manifesting. This year is all about what you can manifest. If you can't manifest nothing, I ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. We talking about manifestations. You ain't got no information manifesting nothing. I got information manifesting the defeat of your whole country. They over here putting people in jail like R. Kelly, the likes of R. Kelly. Putting people in jail like that. Got the world record at the same time for having sex with 7-year-old girls. Got the age of consent under 18 in 40 states. Just passed their last child marriage law 3 years ago. And they locking up R. Kelly. The last child marriage law they passed allows adults to marry children at any age. Any age. So you can't act like it's a matter of ministration. You can't act like it's a matter of ministration when they're locking up people at any age. I mean, when they're marrying people at any age, marrying children at any age. It's not, so they're not going by ministration, in other words. They're not going by that. And see, all you doing is psychological stuff. You ain't got me wrapped up in that. I don't listen, bro. Y'all cornballs. We ain't listen, man. If anybody jump when y'all got child marriage, you know y'all gonna die. You know you gonna die. Based on, I don't care what it's based on. You got child marriage, period. Anybody jump based off of psychological hunches will die. Yeah, that's considered by God that you have child marriage while you're sitting up here trying to see who I am. Yeah, that's taken into consideration. I know it's convenient for you to not take it into consideration, but God is taking into consideration that you have child marriage. That means none of y'all can do nothing. Don't you realize that? It should set you free from your self-righteousness. It should set you free from your self-righteousness to realize you can do nothing. Now you're free. Free like a bird. You're free like a bird. You're free from your self-righteousness. Thinking you can sit up and judge something and you got 44 states with child marriage. Listen, you should have knew better than playing with some North Carolina cowboy. I'm a straight shooter. I straight shoot. I don't shuck and jive like some city slickers. I straight shoot and I blow stuff heads off. You got 44 states with child marriage. That's all I'm going to keep saying. That's all I'm going to keep shooting. I ain't got to do nothing else. You contradicted yourself too much and you brought about liabilities. That's all it is to it. Ain't nothing else to talk about. See, you waiting to cash out. We cashed out now. Listen, you waiting for a thread of evidence. How about we got ours now? Yeah, I know you just think about your side of the game, but you're forgetting about my side of the game. That's why you're losing. We got you now, buddy. Boom, ow, that's a 7. We got you now. We got you today. Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow. Dun, dun, dun. Yo, we got you now. We got you now. While you playing psychological dominoes Pizza Hut games. Sponsored by McDonald's. That's how corny they are. The games they playing that corny should be sponsored by McDonald's. Hey, them games they playing should be sponsored by McDonald's, bruh. Listen, man, the games I'm playing should be sponsored by war hogs. Real war hogs. When you realize you got 44 states with child marriage up in here. And you got the age of consent under 18 in 40 states. You got the world record for the lowest age of consent in the state of Delaware in 1880 at 7 years old. And you passed your last child marriage law July 1st, 2019 that allows adults to marry children at any age. That law was passed under the Trump administration. I should be endorsed by war hogs. Real war hogs. Why you should be sponsored by McDonald's. Hey, those efforts are sponsored by McDonald's. Come on. Come on, you listen, man. You can't take nothing like that seriously, man. Listen, man, they ain't got a thread of evidence, and we got everything on them tonight, right now. And they trying to play the popular game like, oh, well, we're just doing what we're doing. I don't care what you're doing. We got you tonight. We got y'all tonight. Ain't no more game. Ain't no more mercy either. Yeah, you want to play games and you want to try to find information? We got you now then. That's what I'm saying. That's only right as far as karma goes. Okay, you trying to dig up stuff on us. We dig stuff up on you. Sucker. You looking and waiting for something on us. We already got what we got on y'all. Who you think you're playing with? We got you now. We got you today. We got you now. Here and now. Here and now. I promise I have you all the way. This is all I need. 44 states is all I need. Here and now. I promise I have you. Can't you see? Can't you see? 44 states is all I need. 44 states with child marriage, man. That's all we need. We don't need, listen, we don't got to say nothing else. 44 states. Listen, you don't got to say nothing else. You don't got to add nothing to it. They waiting for a little thread of something. And that ain't going to be nothing. Let them jump in the face of God when they got 44 states with child marriage. 44 states is all I need. That's all we need, man. They trying to play Jedi mind tricks. If this was spades, man, we won. We won, man. You done reneged. You reneged on everything you said, man. Listen, man, you talking about we love children. We got family values and all of this, right? You got family values. Why you got 44 states for child marriage then? Well, you just reneged right there then. We got all our books. If this is spades, we got all our books. 44 states is all I need. And you ain't got no books, man. You don't, listen, you don't reneged. You don't reneged. You don't reneged on your integrity, on your character. You got the American military with the age of consent at 16, man. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. You can't be serious. You cannot be serious. This is no challenge. This is no contest, bruh. Listen, and for all you people that think y'all in some psychological game, listen. We got y'all on tech. We got you bunched up with them too. You got to take that liability too. Because you was around as an American citizen playing games ignorant of your country's laws, which makes you have a seat. You can't, listen, you can't even play a game. It doesn't, listen. How can you play a game when you got 44 states with child marriage? How can you play a pedophile game when they got child marriage? Well, looks like more joke is more on you. I mean, some people gonna want to kill you because you brought it all to the light. Well, if you wouldn't have been playing games with us, we wouldn't have figured this out properly. You're all I need. 44 states is all I need. Hey, man, listen, man. Listen. It ain't my fault. Hey, y'all decided, you tell me what grown man under any circumstance gets up in the morning, eat breakfast. Listen to hear this part. Gets up in the morning, eat breakfast, and decides to go downtown and pass child marriage laws. What grown man is going to get up and eat breakfast and go downtown in his metropolis where he lives and pass child marriage laws? Who's going to do that? What grown, brawny, masculine, real man is going to do that? Tell me what real grown man going to do that? That's for all the real men in America. This is the bottom line, yes or no. Would you pass child marriage laws? Yes or no question. Oh, listen, I ain't trying to hear no splitting hairs. For all the real men, yes or no answer. Will you pass child marriage laws? Huh? For all the real women, all the mothers, the caretakers who's cared for children all your life, could you bring yourself to go downtown and pass child marriage laws in America? And anywhere? You couldn't do it, could you? So how can you esteem these people who pass these American laws as men and women when you won't do it? You're still giving the benefit of the doubt, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're giving the benefit of the doubt. Once again, when you as a man or a woman wouldn't do it yourself. So you're letting them just do what they want to do. You ain't holding them to the standard that you live by. Now, what kind of sense does that make? You put them in power, but you don't hold them to the standard that you live by. They should be holding you to the standard, a higher standard that they live by. And you don't even hold them to the standard that you live by. 44 states is all I need. It's over, man. And you can't admit it. You don't want to admit it. But this is the top secret information that has revealed the real character of America. I know you, listen, you thought it was going to be something else, didn't you? You thought it was going to be some 007 James Bond type of information. Well, you know they got this stuff going on, these bunkers and all this stuff, and they got some stuff, some high-tech weapons. That's what you thought it was going to be, something like that. Nah, this is the information that shows their real integrity, who they really are, and it has been revealed. Right? We don't want to hear nothing. Listen, everybody think you so righteous. Listen, if you were so righteous, how come the Holy Ghost didn't lead you to this information? That's for all the people who have intuition and the vibration community. For all the vibration community, how come you ain't know about this? 44 states is all I need. How come the vibration station, how come the vibration station didn't know about this? Huh? They MIA, ain't they? That's what I'm trying to show you, man. That's what I'm trying to show you. It's a lot of fakery going on. It's a lot of shucking and jiving. You know, it's some good people out here, you know, and I'm not going to point them out in situations because it still doesn't matter. Because listen, it's a lot of people that's out here that's shucking and jiving and playing games. And listen, man, they talking about they get all the spiritual gifts in the world, but how come they don't know about this then? Because see, my spiritual gifts led me to this information. That's what I conclude. That's what I conclude. That my spiritual gifts through Christ Jesus led me into this information. How else can you explain it? Y'all don't know it. None of your community don't know it. So how can you explain how I know it? Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. How I just magically know this information. But everybody claim they know magic. That's what we tripping off of. The Magic City. Magic City, that's what we tripping off of. Magic City, they know all the tricks and everything. The wizards, you know, the Wizard of Oz, all the people who claim to be the Wizard of Oz. How come you didn't know this? How come you didn't know this, man? Looks like you let us down, didn't you? That's what I'm saying. And so just like with any other thing in America, everyone is just arrogant. It's just another arrogant bunch of folks. That's what it is. It's just another bunch of arrogant folks sitting up like they know what's going on. Okay, they got all these spiritual gifts. Okay, you done open up a little psychic storefront. But you got all the gifts in the world, but you don't know, and I'm talking to the dark side directly. You got all the gifts in the world, but you don't know nothing about this 44 states with child marriage. 44 states is all I need. See, we shut them down too because they still riding around like they doing something. They still riding around like they should be respected and revered. Like, why should we revere you? Why should we have reverence for you? Why? Tell us again why we should have reverence for you. That's what everybody's starting to figure out. Your gifts don't manifest nothing. What has it manifest according to your surroundings? You shucking and jiving like Psychic Cleo. You remember Cleo back in the day? Yeah, y'all number Cleos to me. Because what are you manifesting? What have you manifested? What have you spoke? What have you revealed to the community? Let's get outside of the individual basis. What have you revealed to the community? Oh, you can't think that high? You can't think that high to see what's going on in your country? Come on, man. You can't think that high. Come on now, you can't be one-track minded. I thought you had spiritual gifts. Yeah, I'm going to drag you along now. I thought you had spiritual gifts. Okay, so you can read what one person got going on. How come you can't read what's going on in your country? How come you can't read what's going on in your country? Huh? You can't read that. Can't take it up a notch and read everything, can you? See, I'm a master and you're not. That's why I'm offended when these fools try to pull up on me. You try to pull up on me with some mind reading stuff. Are you serious? When you got a whole country that's marrying children, when you got a whole country that has been doing all kind of other crazy stuff. Half of y'all don't even know that the American government settled out of court with a Martin Luther King Jr. family for conspiring against him. And you call yourself a studier of Black history. Well, how come you didn't know the American government in December 1999 settled out of court with Martin Luther King Jr.'s family and gave them $100 for conspiring against his life? How come you didn't know about that? How come you didn't know about that with all your information? You did not know that the American government officially took responsibility for conspiring against Martin Luther King Jr. in December 1999. Didn't know that, did you? Well, how come when it comes Black History time, Black History Month, when it comes Black History Month, how come nobody ain't talking about it? Oh, I guess they just want to kind of keep that out of the way, huh? They don't want to talk about that one, do they? They don't want to talk about the fact that the American government, up to date, has went to court with Martin Luther King Jr.'s family now and was found guilty of conspiring against Martin Luther King Jr. Now, see, we had hunches. See, this is the difference. You see the difference? I'm going to show you right here. You had hunches. You had speculations. Yes, you did. You had speculations. But you never knew for sure. I'm telling you as manifested information for sure that and not conspiracy theory, that they conspired against Martin Luther King Jr., the American government did. And people say, well, that happened so long ago. I don't care when it happened. It defines the beast. It defines the enemy. It defines this American government. It shows us who they really are. You put it all together and it defines them. Okay? That's what happens when you pull it all together. That's what you got to do. So you're taking bits and pieces. That's what they want you to do. White America wants you to take bits and pieces. They want you to take bits and pieces. That's what they want you to do. They want you to take bits and pieces of their American history and not take the full bits, the whole portion, and show you it so you can see who they really are. They don't want you to see who they really are because it's going to show you who they really are. That's what it's going to do. See, I ain't no superhero and I ain't no cartoon character, man. Do I look like I'm talking about cartoons and stuff? Do it look like I'm playing? I'm telling you, the American government conspired against Martin Luther King Jr. and they was found guilty in court December 1999. Now, how come in Black History Month they ain't telling nobody about that? Huh? How come every Black history since 1999? Well, it could have started in the year 2000, right? December. Hello. December 1999, 2 months later, they could have been talking about that. Yeah, you know, they finally found the American government guilty of conspiring against Martin Luther King Jr. We could have hit the ground running at the top of the millennium. It happened 2 months before Black History Month. How come the year 2000, the first Black History Month of the year 2000, how come they wasn't talking about that? Makes you wonder, huh? Big information, proper time to talk about it. 2 months later, less than 10 months later, 10 weeks later, less than 10 weeks later, no, it was Black History Month. How come 10 weeks later they couldn't talk about the fact that the American government settled out of court with Martin Luther King Jr.'s family for conspiring against Martin Luther King Jr.? How come they didn't talk about it? Because, see, they want you to take bits and pieces. That's what they want you to do. They want you to take the bits and pieces that create this narrative that makes them seem like they're okay. Well, how come everybody is virtually quiet about this? The fact that we now officially know that the American government conspired against Martin Luther King Jr. How come we not talking about it no more? How come we never talked about it at all? Excuse me. How come we never talked about it at all? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder. How come nobody talked about it at the time that it happened? Huh? Come on, man. Come on. You got all the excuses in the world, man. Can't you see? The writing is on the wall. They got all the excuses in the world. They got all the excuses in the world, man. They trying to pick me apart, but look, you listen, and they ain't picking them apart at all. You ain't picking them apart at all. If you was picking them apart, how come you don't know about this? Well, if you was picking them apart properly, how come you don't know that they settled out of court for killing your greatest leader, man? They killed your greatest leader. Huh? How come you don't know about it? Huh? That's what I'm saying. Now you see why I walk around like I do. Now you see why. Because I know stuff that creates the real picture of who America is. You think you know, but now see, I'm showing you stuff you don't know. You gotta admit that part where you didn't know this. Collectively speaking, I don't care about wizards who knows all informations but tell nobody about it. Those type of people. Yeah, I knew that. Well, you ain't do nothing with what you knew. You ain't do nothing with the information that you did know. So who cares if you knew? I knew. I found out about it and hit the ground running and started talking about it. What you do with it? You sat on it, didn't you? Which makes you worse than me. It makes you worse than the people that don't know, because you knew and didn't do nothing about it. You knew and didn't say nothing about it. It makes you worse than us all. You just told on yourself. Well, I knew that. Shouldn't have told me that. What kind of man or woman that makes you? Sit up, know they marrying children in 44 states and don't say nothing about it. Sitting up knowing that the American government settled out of court with Martin Luther King Jr.'s family and said nothing about it. What kind? So see, in your American arrogance, you want to just let me know you knew. In your American arrogance, you just want to say, well, I know that. Well, you ain't do nothing about it, did you? You ain't say nothing about it, did you? Well, then what kind of man or woman does that make you? You sitting up with all kind of informations and don't know nothing about it. You a wizard of informations, but tell nobody nothing. See, in your American arrogance, you think it's just all about what you know. Well, I know that. Well, you ain't do nothing with it. You ain't do nothing with it. We would have been further along, and we could have defeated them without one weapon being shot if you would have said something about this. And you want to get up arrogant talking about what you already knew. You need to have a seat, because I'm doing something with this information. That's for all you scholars, all you historians. You listen. You failing us. How every Black History time comes, you ain't talking about the American government. This is history. We talking about slavery. We showing that part. Look, you showing the part where they hurting us, where they hurt us in slavery. You show all the brutality in slavery. You couldn't talk about the up-to-date information on what they still doing. Killing Martin Luther King Jr. That's up to date on the Black history, ain't it? Past slavery, let's move along. Let's move along. Let's move along. Let's move along and talk about more stuff that they're doing. Let's talk about more stuff that they're doing. Like once we came out of slavery, they killed our greatest leader. Let's talk about that part. But you're not doing it, are you? You're not doing it effectively, are you? Well, when you're leaving out the American government officially went to court in December 1999, don't you think you kind of slipping on being up to date and innovative as far as Black History Month? I mean, you keep showing us the same. What you gonna show us? Roots? Bet that's coming on. But you know what's not coming on? You know what's not coming on? Information on the American government settling out of court December 1999 with Martin Luther King Jr.'s family for officially conspiring against him. Oh, you ain't gonna find that? Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see at the end of the month. Do anybody show that? They show all these other documentaries. They show all these other documentaries on what white people did. Why they can't show about that what white people did? Huh? Why they can't show us about that? Because it's convenient for them. That's why I love the word convenience. It's convenient for them to not show you. It's convenient for them to sit back. Oh, well, we ain't got to show them that part. Because they're gonna think something else. Yeah, we're gonna see the truth that you actually killed them. That's what we're gonna see. And we're gonna see who you really are. Because people think the government is so holy and so good. Yes, you do. Subconsciously, you think that. Subconsciously, you do. You don't think they're evil. You think we evil. Anybody who opposes the American government, you think they're evil. Well, I'm coming to tell, listen, I have a news flash for you. There's new enemies on the horizon that are justified enemies. And I'm gonna do a video on this. Justified enemies of America. We're justified. Hey, you shouldn't have fought against us. Look. Every man has the right to stand his ground and fight for himself. I don't care what the circumstances are. Listen, you show down with me, I'm showing down with you. I don't care who's around, police, anybody, military, you show down with me, I'm showing down with you. Bottom line. And every man has the right to defend himself, especially in the case where the American government is the enemy. And he can trust no one. He has his right to fight against anyone who comes his way. We ain't trying to hear that. No. Who you think you're fooling? I'm a man. And I know none of your laws make me subject to being under attack without cause. There's no laws that make me to be under attack without cause. You attack me, I'm attacking you back. I have that right. And I'll tell anybody, say, you ain't dealing with an idiot. You ain't dealing with an idiot. If you attack me, I don't care who you are. I have the right to attack you back. And that, I don't care who it is. White people, black people, whoever. Whoever wants smoke. And if you ain't built like that, man, you'll be sitting back with your butt up in the air, waiting for them to penetrate you. Because how can y'all say y'all men and y'all sitting up and seeing what they doing, marrying children in your country? How can you honestly say you're a man submitted to that government? You know how I'm a man? Because I rose up and I fought. That's how. So we're justified enemies. We justified. They made enemies. They got 44 states with child marriage. Hey, I think that creates enemies. Russia doesn't have child marriage of any sort or kind. China does not have child marriage of any sort or kind. So you can't pull them into this. And for all Russians and Chinese, don't be involved in this. You don't have child marriage. It ain't your battle. It ain't your fight. Let these people stand on their own. They want to play this morality game. You want to see who the pedophiles you want to play? You want to play that game? Stand on your own like men and women. You got child marriage and your back is against the wall. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Don't try to drag no other country into it. Won't you be man and woman enough to stand on your own? Talking about somebody's a threat against the earth. You sound like Captain Planet. I'm a threat against those who fought me here in America. You fought against me, you deserve it. That's what I feel. I feel you deserve it. I don't care what happens. You deserve it. You play games with other people. I don't care. As long as you have an American Social Security number, you represent America. I know you think you're a secret society. You still got a Social Security number right in broad day. Yeah. Now, if you didn't have a Social Security number, I would say you're a secret society. You have a Social Security number. We can look up all the stuff you buy. You have to go eat just like us. Trying to tell you they're a secret society. Yeah, they're another one. Freemasons, did they tell you about 44 states with child marriage? They didn't tell you, did they? Did they tell you about child marriage? They didn't tell you, did they? Did all these Freemasons tell you about child marriage in America? They did not, did they? That's what I'm trying to show you. And so why should I respect them? Why should I respect them? And at the same time, the Shriners are giving donations to children charities. Meanwhile, you talking about you got 33 degrees of masonry, but you got 44 states of child marriage as well. Simultaneously. Can't see me. Can't see me. This information defeats all of y'all. I ain't trying to hear nothing from no Freemason. You sit up here with child marriage in your country. You see how destructive this weapon is? Man, how they gonna talk to you? How some Freemasons gonna talk to you any nonsense? That's nonsense. How these preachers up here preaching and they ain't talking about this child marriage. This stops everything. This stops the whole country. I ain't preaching until justice and judgment is coming. Ain't nothing else to talk about. Why we trying to strengthen this country and they're marrying children, sitting up, locking up R. Kelly, persecuting people, and their little gang stalkers are playing games with people, ignorant of their own country's laws, making liabilities for their countries. Because that's a fatal cocktail. Oh, let me explain that. If you got gang stalkers playing pedophile operations with individuals, that's a fatal cocktail when their country is marrying children. Boom, Al. Oh, I didn't tell you that, did you? Well, that's the karma. That's the fatal karma that you get. Well, you're playing pedophile operations, right? But your country has child marriage. I don't care if you're a secret society. This is how I got you. Your country has child marriage, which means no American citizen, whether secret society or non-secret society, can even enforce any type of situation against any pedophile when they're marrying children, which means your operations creates a fatal liability for your entire community because they have child marriage. Boom. You ain't got to be part of the American government. All you have to do is to create the fatal liability. And you created that fatal liability by being out here like we don't know you're doing that, using children all across the country. Like we don't know this. You're creating a fatal liability for your country that you're in by Social Security number. That same country you have a Social Security number in has 44 states with child marriage. The same country that you're a citizen in has 44 states of child marriage. And so those two things combine, which makes you a citizen of it, which means your country having 44 states with child marriage means you have to sit down because they're marrying children, but you didn't sit down and you played games and created a fatal liability, a fatal cocktail liability because they are marrying children right here in your face and you played pedophile operations. That's a fatal cocktail liability, buddy. Boom. Ooh. Glad to birth that out. That felt good. That had to get birthed out. There it is right there. Yeah, you thought you got away, huh? Oh, you thought you wasn't part of them. Don't matter. You're here ignorant of the state of your own country. Boom. Well, if they got child marriage, how you around here talking about what anybody is doing? That means, listen, you don't have legalities to enforce against anyone based on the state of the morality of your country. How are you going to enforce anything when they got child marriage? How are you going to talk about who cares about any pedophiles when they got child marriage? So you care about individual pedophiles, but you don't care about these 44 states of collective child marriage. Ow. Boy, you on fire. Don't you see that? You on fire. You on fire, boy. You're here in America where they marrying children. So all your games has created a fatal cocktail liability. Boy, that's good. Ooh, that's good. Boy, that's good. That got the job done. Oh, yeah. That got the job done. So anybody that's talking about menstruation and all of that, well, we know children are ready when they got menstruation. It's too unpredictable individually. So we can't go by that. We can't go by that. We can't go by a female cycle because every female cycle don't come at the same time of their life. So there can't be a standard that we put anywhere in our minds, laws, anywhere. Case closed.